My name is Halle Stacy. I'm 16 years old and I attend the Grapevine campus of FOTP. As long as I've ever known, my mom has been a worship leader at a church, and so I just kind of like grew up always being in the church, always being in behind the scenes, just always kind of knowing everybody. Everybody knows who I am, and not having to like find my place in a church. Whenever I was in 4th grade, my parents got a divorce. It was just a big pullback and out of church, and we just weren't attending for a really long time. I had attended Fellowship of the Parks a few times here and there, but I would just pop my head in. It wasn't anything like that I was attending regularly. It was like 3 times a year, maybe. I met David Belloc, the youth pastor at Grapevine, and he is the one who actually invited me to start attending youth at Fellowship of the Parks. And the first day that I got there, I headed off with everybody else at church, and we had like a foosball tournament. The next time that I came to a Sunday morning is whenever I really felt that Fellowship of the Parks was my home, because Charles, our head pastor, he said like, "Hey Halle, I'm so glad you're here. Welcome. Like, I'm so glad you're coming to Sunday mornings." And it made me feel special because they knew my name and they made me feel like important to be there and like they noticed me. September of last year is whenever a big turning point in my family happened, and my whole faith and everything that I believed in had been crushed. Whenever it happened, it pulled me away. I was not thinking about my faith at all. Like, nothing in my brain was telling me to pray, nothing was telling me to lean on God, nothing was telling me to just lean on my faith and try to work through my problems with my faith. I was just angry and upset, and just all my emotions were taking over. And that's whenever Fellowship of the Parks really became my safe space and really became my like home, because even with all the family situations and stuff going on, church was always there. Church was always somewhere that I could feel like all my problems could just be left at the door, and I could just walk in being a new person, walk in being happy and not having any of that emotional stress. Some of the stuff that I do now at Fellowship of the Parks is I do the announcements on Wednesday nights, and I have my small group of girls on Wednesday nights, and then Serve Sunday. I think the most important thing that I've done is I've really gotten my 13-year-old sister involved in the church, and she has started attending every single week, and she has started bringing her friends, and she has a great relationship with all of my friends now, and we all have a really tight circle at the church, which really helps me and my sister in our home life to be working through faith in our family situation. It really amazed me to see how me sharing my story made my connections with everybody else so much greater. One of the biggest things that I've learned here at Fellowship of the Parks is that once you open up and you share your story, no matter who you are, no matter how big or small you are, no matter how old or young you are, if you just open up is whenever you can make the biggest connections, and that's whenever you can start to work through your relationships with faith and with trust and with just being open and being willing to share your story with other people so that they are willing to share their story with you.